Hi there, me just dropping in at the beginning of the episode, just to say that this weekend we are going to be part of a charity stream that our friend Garrett is hosting in aid of Battersea Dog Shelter. Garrett has been on the podcast before, so you know and love him maybe. So join us this weekend. There'll be links in the description below, also on our Twitter, social media, whatever. Come along, have some spooky Halloween fun. Play some games with us, do whatever you do, and give some money if you can to Battersea Dog Shelter because it's a good cause. Who doesn't love dogs? On with this bloody wild ride of a podcast.
And there's going to be spoilers. I'm not going to include the other thing. It will make it too long. So spoilers.
Spoilers, and here's the intro music. Hello and welcome back to another Happy Pod, the Spooky Wookie show where we talk about movies and pop culture and try to be a little bit more positive and optimistic. We don't always succeed, but we do have a spooky wookie and fun time doing it. My name is Nathan Spooky Wookie Bauer, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host Lawrence Spooky Wookie High C. How are you today on the spookiest, wookiest day of the year?
I'm feeling pretty spooky and also wooky.
Right, but there's no need for that, is there?
Sorry, yeah, and I took it too far. You're right.
You did.
Yeah, it was. What you were doing was good, and I came in and I just fluffed it, didn't I? Straight away.
Which is what usually happens on this podcast, if I'm being honest.
I think it's time you get yourself a new host, to be honest.
Siler, you're up.
No, don't take this from me. Not him, please. I'm feeling exquisitely spooky. It's not quite Halloween, but on the time of has it been Halloween yet? Yeah, it's coming out tomorrow.
It's Halloween on Sunday. Right now it's Friday, but people
So
will listen to this whenever, probably in like 6 years. So
yeah. If you wait longer than 2 days on this podcast, it's out of date and no longer is relevant to you.
unless, of course, you're listening to it like a year later, in which case, welcome to Halloween 2022. I love the popular social networking site Meta.
What? What's Meta?
It's Facebook. Zuckerberg announced that he's changing the name to Meta today.
Oh God! Doesn't Trump made like a social media as well this week?
Has he?
I think so. It's called like Truth or something.
No, ironically,
Just very on
no
brand.
Truth. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is going to be the greatest social media site in the world, okay?
You're
It's
really
better than
proud of
Facebook.
this. You can do one impression and you're very proud of it, aren't you?
Look, okay, when you have one impression, you milk it for all it's worth. Doesn't even work over audio because 90% of it is the the facial imitation and the hand movements.
It's
but
true.
still, I'm still quite proud of it. Yes.
Yeah, well, I like it, and I think you do a good job.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Anyway, happy spooky wookie time.
Thank you. It's been a very spooky evening. I've just finished watching the spooky wookie movie we're talking about.
Cool, we'll get to that in a second.
Why'd you always do this? Again, you're doing it again.
I told you I had a fun little story.
Well, kick us off with your story then. Why are you waiting?
You might just want to cut this out. I'll try talk about this without giving away where I work. But today, while I was at work, let's say a customer. They're not a customer, but a customer is the closest word I can use. A customer was unhappy with a decision that was made, so they wrote in their online account, because these customers have online accounts, that they were going to come down to the place where we work and shoot and kill everyone there. And we obviously have to take any kind of threat like that extremely seriously. So the police were called. We had armed police officers inside the building waiting. The person in question was an ex-prisoner and a farmer, so it was very likely that he actually did have a weapon. And he never came down, but we did hear that a little later during the day he was arrested. So there you go. That was my day. Yeah,
that's a spooky wookie day.
It's the spookiest time of the year. That's what I'm saying.
That is very spooky. Do you reckon he was doing it to be on brand with Halloween? Do you reckon if it was any other time of the year, he'd have let it slide?
No, I think he was just a fucking idiot.
How severe was what the decision he was unhappy with? Like, is he rightfully fucked off?
I have no idea what it is. I have no idea. It could be something very mundane and simple. Sometimes people do freak out over the simplest things.
Yeah.
I once the other week I had a customer get very angry because I asked him to come into the place for an appointment and he was very unhappy with that, and he said he absolutely will not do it. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm not going to sanitize my hands. I'll spread COVID around. See how you like that. And I'm just like, all right, okay.
It takes more energy to be like this.
I know, it's just so frustrating.
Stop being a dick.
Yeah, it's really not that difficult. Anyway, so that was my day.
That was your day. My day was less eventful. I had no one threatening my life, which was nice. I also saw my mum. So shout out Mary.
Well, I spoke to my mum. Well, I saw her on FaceTime, so shout out Tess. Shout out Tess and Mary, the mums of the pod.
Mums of the pod. We couldn't be where we are with this extremely successful podcast without the support and love of Mary and Tess.
It's true. It's very true. They've got their own spin-off pod coming soon. Mum's another happy mum. So stay tuned for that.
Another happy mum is a video I've watched online.
Oh, Lawrence, please. Lower the tone.
On the off chance that my mum is ever listening to this, I don't know what that reference is, and I've never watched anything online.
That's a lie.
What did we watch today? Is a question I have for you.
We watched.
Oh no!
Do you see what I did there?
This is the thing. I see what you did there, and I can even appreciate the intent. Yes. The execution was the thing I had the problem with.
Well, I didn't want to scream very loudly, but we watched Scream.
Yeah, we did.
Please allow me.
Please.
One of my personal favorite horror movies, probably my favorite. I first saw it when I was about 13, 14 or something, and just instantly fell in love with it.
Yes,
it really is just one of the classic horror movies, and very good.
I watched it the same thing. I watched it when I was 13, so that would have been like 8 years after you watched it.
Cool, thanks.
I didn't remember who the killers were.
Did you not? Spoiler alert! God, come on.
Well, there's a spoiler alert up top. Do you think we're going to go through this whole thing and not mention it? But yeah, so it's Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
I was going to say, I have a note here. Matthew Lillard, Shaggy himself.
Yeah, is one of the Scream murderers. And boy, oh boy, we'll get to him.
Yeah.
Because I watched this when I was 13. I think I must have watched the first half because it all seemed vaguely familiar up till that point, and then there was about a point halfway through I went, I don't recall any of this. So I think what I've done is I've watched it like at a mate's, and then we've like switched it off halfway through or something.
I think what I did, because I remembered a certain plot point that was just not in this movie at all, and I was like, I think I'm thinking of Scary Movie, which is obviously the parody of this.
Yeah, and to be honest, easy to make that mistake if you don't recall it, because it's the same costume. That's like one of the jokes in this, is how easy the costume is to replicate.
I mean, Scary Movie is pretty much like a shot-for-shot remake of this, almost, but much, much worse. Because this is an actually well-made movie.
I like this. I think this is really good.
I thought it was amazing. I had so much fun watching this.
Yeah.
What I will say, first of all, the opening is great. The scene with Drew Barrymore and the whole sequence.
Yeah.
But my experience of it was slightly ruined because I actually started watching this last night. Okay.
Oh no.
And I watched it on Amazon Prime. Now the thing is, this movie is free on Amazon Prime as long as you watch it with ads. So I put it on and I was like, oh, how bad can it be? So I was like, I'll say $3.99, whatever. So I put it on, I get through the entire first sequence, the title card comes up, and then it skips to about 90 seconds of ads, and I'm like, my fucking god, this is bad. And then I like tap the screen because I was on my iPad, and you know how like you can see where the ads are. There was literally like fucking 50 of them. So I'm like, no. Fuck this. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And then thankfully you just bought it today. So.
Yeah, I had the exact same thought process. I went on Prime. I googled it, like what streaming service is it on, and it said like, oh, you can watch it on Prime free with ads, and I went, yeah, no, get fucked. I didn't even bother trying. I was like, no, it's $3.99. I will buy it. I think it's a good movie from what I can recall, so I'll just buy it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just picturing like the mask is about to come off, and suddenly it's like, is HelloFresh worth the price? At first, I was skeptical too. just right in the way of all the good bits.
Yeah, it's we as a society just need to completely get rid of ads, but
especially in horrors, like
yes,
building tension, and then suddenly it's fucking Raid Shadow Legends or whatever. It's like, get the fuck out.
It's just not worth it at all. Not worth the $3.99 you'll save or whatever. So
I mean, look. If any ads people are actually listening, it is how I make my money. So don't stop doing ads on things because I need to pay rent. This jumps straight into it. Like the one thing I really appreciate of this is there's no fucking around. Like within 30 seconds you're like, here's the drill. Here's what's going on.
Yeah. You're straight away introduced to like the basic premise. You know, the teen horror, teen on the phone, watching a movie, scary killer in the house, and it's straight away it's hitting you with like every single trope of a horror movie, because that's what this is. It literally spells out horror movie tropes the whole way through. The whole thing is very meta, which works really well in the movie. Normally, if you're normally watching a horror movie and it's just following these tropes beat for beat, you're like, oh, I've seen this 1,000 times. Like, this is just way too predictable. This is not predictable, though.
It's not.
It's not. What I found with this is, like, the moment you're starting to suspect someone, the movie knows that you are, and then it also starts to suspect them too, because you might be thinking, oh, what if the dad did it? And then the movie's like, oh, maybe the dad did it. And then you're like, oh, maybe it was the boyfriend. And then it's like, oh, maybe it was the boyfriend. Look, he's got a phone.
As everyone does.
Yeah. It was, side note, when Billy, Sydney's boyfriend, gets arrested, one of my favorite lines is the police officer saying, so what were you doing with a cellular phone, son? I'm like, that is a sign of the times right there.
Yeah, what's this going on? Like, what are you calling on your phone?
What is this magic contraption that you have here, young man?
A landline in your pocket? What? It is a sign of the times kind of thing in this. Like it is very much like a horror film in a bottle, isn't it? Because this film does not work the second you take it out the year it is.
Oh no, but we're getting a new one next year. I'm excited to see what that's like. Did
he make a call? Yeah, triangulate his position. All right, we got him. We fucked him up. It's fine.
There's a whole plot point about them checking call records, and it literally takes them days to establish if a call was made. And like, you can just see that on your like, it's just there.
Yeah,
crazy.
Just load up your previous calls and be like, look, there it is.
One thing I did enjoy as well is when the killer was in Sydney's house and the phone line was cut. So then she runs up to her room and she makes the call on the computer.
Oh, fuck. I have a note there, and I had no idea what was going on at first, right? So to set the scene, if you haven't watched it in a while, the killer is literally at the door. And is kind of trapped, which with a nice setup that was earlier, like the door gets trapped with another door if you put it in a certain way. So he's got his arm through, like he's brandishing his knife, and she's there. She fucking whips open like MSN fucking .org or whatever, and starts making a call. But she's typing it out, and it takes so long. I'm there literally thinking, your bed is made of metal bars. fuck him up.
She's got like a text to like speech kind of thing going on. It's not really that. It's just like the phone, like the computer says this is 911. What is your emergency? Like the police have a live chat feature somehow in fucking 1997, which I just thought was hilarious.
Also, I've ran a live chat before as part of a job.
Yes.
No one. I don't care if they're police or not. No one is getting back to you in time for that situation to be resolved. And to be honest, what you're gonna get for the first 5 messages is a bot that takes you to the place you need to go to speak to someone relevant. Like you're not gonna. There's no chance. Like you're dead.
That's true. That's true. I see that you're getting killed. One moment while I connect you to an agent.
Yeah. Oh, everyone's busy at the minute, actually. We're wondering if you could take a number and call us back.
Try checking out our FAQ for more help.
So I wrote, there's a few things I wrote down in this, and they're kind of a bit null and void. Because like the entire time the movie's like, her boyfriend's a nice guy. But like as in like everyone is like, oh, I couldn't be that dude. He's a nice guy and he loves her. And I'm like, why is everyone blind to the fact that this guy is a grade A dick? Like
he's such a dick.
He's like, what did he say? Like I wrote it down at one point.
He said, I think we're probably thinking of the same thing. He said like, your mum's been dead for a year. Get over it.
Yeah, like, mate. No, but like put it in the context of what we've seen in the movie. It's like my mum and dad split up, but don't don't worry that yours got raped and murdered. But also, I know that you almost got murdered last night, but I really want to fuck. So when is this going to stop being a problem?
I know.
My mum moved to a different house, and yours got murdered. Well, this is the same scenario.
We have exactly the same childhood trauma here. Okay.
Yeah.
Your mum is a bad person, and fuck you.
Yeah, I love the fact that everyone in the school is like really nonchalant about it. Like, there's a point where they actually find out that like their principal has been gutted like a fish, and they're like, "Party, school's out." And I'm like, for starters, your school won't be out. Like, just carry on with another principal. Like, he's not the only man alive that can run a school.
But also, you see,
a man is dead.
Yeah, it's very true. Also, though, I thought there was a few like weird reactions around that. Not necessarily the principal getting killed, but more so the fact that Sydney herself, just literally the night before, survived an attempted murder attack, is going to school like 8 hours later. Literally the best idea. Is that a good idea? I mean, maybe it is. I don't know, but I wouldn't have thought so.
The police force in this are brain dead. Like there is so many dumb things occur, which can only be described. There comes a certain point where you go, that's a bit of a dumb decision, but there gets to a point in the movie where you go, are the police actively trying to kill her, or is this just negligence to the highest degree? Like, some of the shit is outrageous. Like, they put the town under a curfew, and then the brother of her best friend, who is a police officer, drops her off and goes, it's just kids having fun. What could go wrong? There's not a mass murderer loose or anything.
So, first, Dewey was one of my favourite characters in this movie. Yeah. I thought he had some of the funniest lines in it. First of all, when he goes to the party, with Monica from Friends, and then he's just like, "You're underage, you can't drink," and he takes the beer off the kid and he's like, "No, I'm just kidding. Have a good night."
Yeah, no, it's good.
That was fucking hilarious.
He was my suspect for most of the movie. He was the one that I thought, this guy is it.
See, this is the plot point that I'm remembering from Scary Movie, because I think the twist in Scary Movie is that he was the killer all along, and that he's not like an idiot. He's actually a very intelligent person, and actually a very handsome person somehow. But that wasn't the case. Like I said, I was remembering Scary Movie. But then another line of his, which just really made me laugh as well, when he's walking off with the reporter Monica again, and it's not even a proper line. It's just like fading off in the background as they walk away. But he just says, "Do you know what constellation that is?" And she's like, "No, what is it?" And he's just like, "I don't know. That's why I was asking you." And it's not even that good a line, but it just made me laugh a lot.
I think it's just he is in his own world in this entire movie. and
He
like
really is.
not a single threat of murder is going to take him down from just living his life.
Yeah.
Which is very funny.
And
Yeah,
hats off to him.
yeah, exactly. He does it good, and he dies, right? He gets
He gets stabbed, but he doesn't die.
okay.
He's put into the ambulance at the end of the movie. So
I was like, because there comes the point, like in the third act of this movie, right? So people that die in this movie are dead, right? They die and they stay dead up
for the
until the
most
third.
part,
Yeah, up until the third act of this
there is
movie.
one character who has like 4 death scenes.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but it's up like it gets to the third, and then it's like you could get stabbed, but you're fine. You could also get stabbed like again, but you're fine. Didn't like there were people that came into the scene. I was like, aren't you dead? Like I swear you're dead.
Who?
The
The, the movie guy?
who's the movie? Oh, no. So the who is it? The what's her boyfriend's name? Billy? Is that his name? Billy?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's because he gets obviously I found out why in the end.
Yes.
Because he gets
He gets-
I guess fake stabbed.
Yeah, so the clever. I actually have a note of this. I really like the moment when he gets fake stabbed because if you watch it back, it's so obvious. It's so painfully obvious that he's not getting stabbed. His back is to the camera the entire time. You don't actually see the knife enter his body at all. Even when the killer pulls the knife away, there's no blood on it. And then he rubs his hand across it to, like, I guess, smear the blood on to make it seem like he has stabbed him. It's really cleverly done. If, like, at first, obviously, you're not going to notice it the first time you watch it.
Yeah.
But, like, you'll probably just think, oh, cheesy 90s horror movie, whatever, low budget. But then you watch it back once you know the twist and you start to look for little things like that. It's so painfully obvious. There's not even any holes in his shirt. It's just like red smeared down him. So it's really cleverly well done, I think.
That is good. Yeah, no, I like I say I did not notice it at all, but it caused my suspicions were kind of roused a little bit when he was like it was about 10 minutes in movie time after he'd been stabbed. And then he just kind of like wanders downstairs and is like, "It's fine." And she's like, how you got stabbed?" And he's like, "No, it's fine. Don't worry about it." And then just lets all his homies in. And then I'm like, "What? You like?" As far as I was concerned, you're dead. You're stabbed through the heart, dead upstairs. But yeah, no, that was my first red flag. But we'll get to the reveal because I have thoughts.
One thing I want to say quickly, this is it's often called a horror comedy, and it's easy to see why because it is a horror movie. It is also a comedy movie because it is very funny at times. The absolute funniest part of this movie, and it fucking killed me. It completely caught me off guard because I had forgot about this scene completely. So I almost fell off my chair laughing. It was so good. The principal, Henry Winkler, Fonzie himself, he's like hearing knocking at his door, so he's looking around and stuff, trying to find who's knocking. Eventually it's the killer, he gets stabbed or whatever. But before that happens, he opens the door and he's like, "Who's there? Who's doing that, you little shit?" And then you see the janitor who's just dressed as Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You don't mean me, dear?" And he's like, "No, Freddy, not you."
Yeah, no, it's such a stupid throwaway gag, but it cracked me up. Yeah.
Oh, it was so. Do you know that's Wes Craven himself as well?
Is it?
Yeah, that's Wes Craven as Freddy.
For fuck's sake. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, no, that did crack me up because it's such a garish Freddy costume as well. Like it almost looks like a Freddy fan like cosplay kind of thing.
It's very cheaply made and it's just so good. That's what I like throughout this. The entire time you're just reminded of other horror movies. You know, Halloween is playing at one point, obviously Freddy Krueger. Just so many different ones are talked about, and I think that's what works well in this.
Oh, for sure. This movie survives. This could have gone down a road if the studio cut just maybe 5 or so scenes or like lines from scenes. Everyone would be like, "This is the most generic shit ever." But it's they're so smart in like the approach to address the tropes and make it like a game, and then kind of weave the game thing into the killing. But it's like it's from the opening scene, it spells out very differently to like this is going to be very familiar but very different as well.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah, and it's very well done. I maintain just because you bring the principal up, he deserved to die. He was a
Oh,
dick.
he was a dick. Yeah.
Fucking, like, I'm not being funny, but if you value your career and your life, and there's a murderer running round, and your thought for two disobedient teenage boys, right? I know, unheard of. They're the most obedient people on the planet.
Yeah.
Is to bring them into your office, brandishing your fucking enormous shear-like scissors.
First of all, I just want to say the sound dubbing on those scissors,
Oh,
impeccable.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like it reminded me of that scene, in Doctor Who, in the end of the time when David Tennant's turning the gun around, and every second there's the big reloading click every time he does it.
yeah,
It's kind of like that. Only there's a big like sheathing knife sound every time he like knocks the scissors.
closer to that with Doctor Who still is the Cyberman conversion machine.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just like the scissors, and they're like shing shing, quitching, shing. Yeah. So but yeah, no, it is like that. But then he's also like, his first thought is to be like, no. If like they're like, oh, come on, sir, you can't expel us, and he's like, no, it's not fair. Do you know what would be fair? If I could rip you open and fuck you like a dog, you fuck your guts, I'm gonna kill you all. And like he's pushing his scissors up into a guy's chest, and I'm like, you have a duty of care. Like,
Also,
you're fired.
He's also pretty creepy as well, because like when Sydney comes in for the interview, the way he just like puts his like hand underneath her chin or whatever, I just thought, that's just that's a little creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He very much so deserved to die in that movie. There's a few
Do you
people
know
that
who didn't
die,
deserve to die? Do you know
Go
who
on.
didn't deserve to die? R.I.P. to my absolute queen, Tamer.
Who's she? The friend?
The
Best
friend, yeah, the best friend girl.
Yeah, she got hard done by, but I also think that her own stupidity led her to her demise.
I didn't. What do you mean by that?
Right. So this brings me to another point, which I'll get to. She's there. There's a murderer, right? And I get that the school has like a little ongoing joke that they keep dressing up, but why take the chance? She goes fucking like eye level with him and goes, "Oh, is you the scary guy? Should I play the role of the girl? Oh, I want to be in the sequel. Why
Yes.
take the chance?
But
Why do it?"
Because again, it's messing with the tropes, though, isn't it? Again, she's spelling out the tropes of horror movies quite literally. So I see where you're coming from. I do, but I'm also more forgiving of this movie than I should be, just because because it is a little meta and a little.
I mean, it's
on
a
the
double-edged
nose.
sword, isn't it? Like it is a double-edged sword, yeah. But all right, the other dumb thing is, she must know. I know that I couldn't fit through a cat flap. All right.
Yes.
I know that I couldn't. She must have some own predetermined notion of how much she weighs, or the size of her body, because most human beings can't fit through a cat flap.
Come on, Lauren, she didn't need to body shame her.
No, come on. There's a lot of body shaming in this, to be fair. Was it the camera guy who's like devoted to getting this story with this reporter woman. He misses it by like 5 seconds, and she's like, "Move your fat ass, you fat motherfucker," and like just goes at him for no reason. But yeah, it's cruel.
Very cruel. Shout out to Monica. She plays that part very well.
Does.
It's nice to see her doing, something different from Monica, playing a bitch, I guess, which I think is how Courtney Cox herself described this character. Fucking love the moment when Sydney just clocks her. It's
It's great.
It's just so Sydney. First of all, Sydney. Oh, what a fucking queen. Okay, she is just probably the best final girl any horror movie has ever had. She takes no shit. She's brutal. She's a fucking unit, and the way she just clocks that reporter, I'm here for it. I love it.
Not only that, she is incredible at surviving. She doesn't get out of situations through luck. She gets out of it by straight up martial artsing her way out, and then like flipping over beds and shit. Like she is. I'm not joking. I wrote this down. Let me just try and find the note to read it verbatim. So I can't find it, but I know it because Sydney. There's a moment towards the end where Shaggy the killer comes out from his cupboard, and she straight up does a judo flip on him, and it's not like just a flip. I watched it back. It is called a Tomonagi roll, and it is legitimately a judo flip.
Okay.
Like the hand placements were there, everything is perfect, and it's executed flawlessly. I can only assume that she's had some judo lessons in the past.
This is what I'm saying. She's not just your average scream queen. She's not just someone there to look pretty, scream, and survive by luck until the end. She actually gets shit done, which is it's really good to see. I think a lot of the female characters in this are actually like really strong and really well written. I think it's
which is rare for a late 90s.
It is. Yeah. It's very rare, yeah. But yeah, it's really well done, I think. What was I going to say? Yeah, here's just a quick, dumb, fun note I have. Why does Tatum have 2 beds?
You're not wrong.
What's that about?
Maybe her and her brother. Who knows?
Maybe. That's weird.
Maybe. So there's a thing that keeps reoccurring in this, right? And I think it should have been addressed. Everyone that dresses, so basically everyone that kind of gets caught, and there's a caught in the room with a killer or like someone dressed as the killer. Every single one of them goes, "Is that you, Randy? Are you fucking around, Randy? Someone arrest Randy. If he's this prolific running around in his costume, just arrest him. Surely Randy is a suspect at this point."
Yeah, maybe. Wasn't Randy one of the kids who was doing it in the school though? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, like, I presume he didn't stop doing it because he got expelled. He'd probably still invited to the party as well. Like, I don't know, one of them things. I was just like, Randy is extremely well known for doing this, and it's only been a couple of days.
Can you imagine being at a house party? Like, you're having a few drinks, you're at a house party, you're having a good time, and then someone's like, "Hey, what horror movie should we watch?" And you're like, "What? Are you fucking insane?"
Now, Nathan, I can't let you sit here and be hypocritical, because whilst we've never done that, we are exactly the type of people to take the first space on the sofa and just put on something dumb.
I did feel represented in this movie, okay? but that's a whole different thing, okay?
For context, me and Nathan once got really drunk on a sofa of some house party and just relentlessly told the same person that he was a neek because he drove the Corsa. And that happened.
And he had no idea he was bullying him.
No. I felt bad.
He was very much like thinking he was. This we come off bad in this story, but
we do actually. Yeah, we're bullies.
Yeah, he very much thought he was part of our banner, but he was just there calling him a spice boy and talking about FIFA and all this sort of stuff.
If there's a chance that you are a spice boy, you drive a Corsa and you play FIFA and you still listen to this podcast, we're not talking about you. Thanks for listening. I am amazed, and I'll tell you this. You know the meme of like the 4 tickets to Joker, please?
Yes, I know it well.
So those guys, right? Those kind of dudes. The Fight Club is the best movie ever written dudes. Right.
Patrick Bateman is the greatest cinematic character ever written.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. I am amazed that they didn't pick up and run with the quote, "Life's a movie, but you can't pick the genre." I am genuinely floored that I've never heard that come up in like some awful film Twitter comment section kind of thing.
That's the kind of thing like someone would have tattooed on them, isn't it?
It really is, in like the swirly writing that everyone's got. Yeah. Tattoo artists have one fun.
I can imagine Quentin Tarantino having that somewhere.
Just on both of his feet.
Exactly, yeah. So do you want to talk about the reveal then? Because this, when I first saw this, it blew my fucking mind. Like, I was 13. I was not that familiar with horror tropes at all. Not that this actually subverts a lot of tropes. This particular bit, but the actual reveal of Billy actually is the killer, but twist, twist, twist. There's 2 killers. I was like, oh my fucking god. My entire world had done a Fresh Prince and was turned upside down. I had never known that cinematic stories could make me feel like this, and it was a life-altering event for me. How was it for you?
So, yeah, this was... It was fucked. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a great reveal, and I really like how they're it's the whole movie has led you to believe that Billy is like for the entire thing. I should have seen it coming because for the entire thing, the movie's like Billy's like, what do I have to do to show you I'm not a killer? I'm a good guy, and all of this. It shocked me. It did surprise me, and I love the reveal that there's two of them because it just means that like. Even if I was right, even if I guessed Billy, there's still a little extra surprise for someone that wasn't smart enough. And that's always a great thing to do. Is it them that do they actually provide the voices for the phone call at the beginning?
No. So it's like someone who was, I don't know the name, but it's someone else. Someone else basically. Something Jackson. I think he was like part of the crew or something. It was just like supposed to be a temp voice. Like they were just like, oh yeah, use that for now. Do the phone call because they actually did the phone calls for real. Just do the phone call. We'll use your voice and then we'll dub over it later with someone else. But it actually worked really well. Wes Craven really liked it and he thought, fuck it, we'll just keep it. So that's how it worked.
Yeah, out. It's because I say that because when Shaggy pulls out his like little phone thing and goes, "Hello, Sydney," I was like, that's not the same dude. Like, it's not the same voice, which I thought was funny. There's firstly that voice. Like, I genuinely, the opening scene to this is crack. Like, it's so good.
It really is.
And and you're sat there, you're on the edge of your seat for the entire thing. For halfway through the movie, I thought to myself, the obvious choice would have been to have the opening scene be Sydney's mum and it be like the year prior.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah,
but then I kind of thought, no, it's a nice cap off, and also like Drew Barrymore, throw her in. She's a woman of the year, so lob her in because it will sell.
Charlie's Angels had just come out or will just come out. One of the two.
Yeah, one of the two, but she's a big name. No, firstly, the opening scene is impeccable anyway. It's just so good. And then the end, for me, and I don't know if you feel the same, and I'm going to touch back on 4 Tickets to Joker, please.
Okay.
Because I just felt like, as much as I loved it, and I still think it works, it is a little bit two actors got told, you get to do your Joker impressions now. And two guys that have been like fairly normal this entire time, but then are suddenly so dramatically unhinged.
I will agree with you about Billy.
You think Billy, I'm thinking way more Shaggy?
No, see, I think Shaggy was amazing. I think I loved how fucking unhinged he was, but he'd been unhinged throughout the movie, not to that extreme. He was holding back beforehand. I feel like that's his moment to really let loose and be himself. But he was a little bit like kooky and wild throughout the entire movie. He wasn't just some straight-laced normal guy. So it's not like a complete 180. And I loved the stuff he was doing. It was really fucking bizarre.
Don't get me wrong. There. In terms of like the performance, it's good and it works. But it just, I couldn't help but think of it. And I wonder if I'd seen it in like at a younger age or even in the 90s.
This is what I'm saying. I think you're what's the right word? You're spoiled or ruined by living in a post-Joker world. I think because of that, you're comparing it to Joaquin Phoenix and his big pants and dancing on the stairs to a paedophile song or whatever. So you automatically will think of this over the top. Here's my moment to be crazy and shine type of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely part of it.
You want a motive, Sydney? You want a motive? Well, sometimes you got no motive other than society.
Just jumping on that. That was a good joke, by the way.
Thanks. Nothing says good joke like the phrase "good joke." By the way.
But I did love that stuff about the whole thing about what's scarier than having a motive? Not having a motive, because if someone's just doing this just for fun, then that's terrifying. Because it's true, it is. If there's a killer just out there doing it just because they want to, rather than some big story about revenge or whatever, that is infinitely scarier.
Yeah.
One of my favorite horror movies is The Strangers. It's just a story about like a couple who come home from a wedding, and throughout the night night they're attacked and tormented by these three strangers, and later towards the end of the movie, Liv Tyler asks them, why are you doing this? And one of them just says, because you were home. That's it. That's literally the reason why, and it's fucking chilling because it could have been anyone else.
Yeah, that's fucked. Like don't get me wrong, there is something infinitely more terrifying about it, and it's because it's a kind of an unfamiliar concept. Like, not a lot of so many screenwriters get so wrapped up in their horror epic being like, and if we flash back at a certain point in the movie, you can get this clue, and it's because she says this about his mum or something like. Just, do you know what I mean? Like, in a lesser movie, there would have been way more grit against the mum. Like the boyfriend and the girlfriend dilemma kind of situation.
And I think you do get kind of both sides of the coin, though, with this movie, because you do get Billy, who kind of has a motive with the whole mum thing, as weak a motive as it is, and fucking ridiculous, but it is kind of there. But then you also have Shaggy, who just seems to be fucking insane and wants to have fun with this, and he's just like, yeah, stab me. Oh shit, I'm dying.
What I really want is just a prequel scene where, like, those two guys are in a room, and they like come up to do this, but they don't want to give away that they want to do it. So he's like, oh man, you remember that? Yeah, you ever seen any scary movies? That would be cool if, people did that. And he'd be like, yeah, not in real life though, right? And he's like, yeah, no, nothing in real life unless. Like, I like the idea that they at one point they would have had to have had that conversation where, like, if it goes wrong, they're risking everything here.
Absolutely. Bottom line of it is, I fucking love this movie, man. It really is the ultimate teen horror, I think, and that probably is coming from nostalgia. But I think it's definitely worth a rewatch or a watch.
I don't think it might be coming from nostalgia from your point of view, but I don't think it's unwarranted. Like, again, I don't have nostalgia for this. I barely remember watching it the first time. Couldn't remember the ending. Today was the first time I've sat down and dedicated the time to it, and it was great. Like, the entire thing, I was like, this is good stuff.
I'm not asking you because I'm not asking you in this question isn't me asking you to do the series for the podcast, but just in terms of the movie series itself, do you want to watch more of them? Like, does this make you want to watch the others?
It's difficult. Okay. It is difficult, mainly because of the fact that I know how these things go, and I know that when there's like 5 of them, they're not all going to be as good.
I don't think they are, but I think the Scream series is quite highly regarded. I've only ever seen Scream 1. I've not actually seen the others, so I'm quite interested to...
If this podcast ends up going for 5 years, should we do Scream every Halloween?
I think maybe that might be a fun little tradition.
I like that, and then we'll run out of Scream one day, and we'll just cancel Halloween. No one's allowed to celebrate anymore. We'll wrap up soon because there's a few things I just wanted to little moments I wanted to quickly appreciate.
Sure.
So the phone ring, and I don't know if this is intentional, but it is always like too many decibels higher than the rest of the sound mix.
Okay.
Because it's like I don't know if that's a fact, but it seems it, because every time it came on, I went, "Ah, fuck!" Like, it's unnerving as shit. Like,
I think it's supposed to, I do think that's intentional. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think you are getting a kind of jump scare moment with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's good. But also, like, there's times where it goes on and on, like the phone just doesn't stop ringing, and you're like, someone pick up the fucking phone. It's terrifying me.
That's true. Yeah.
Another moment, I get that, like, Sydney's not in the right frame of mind towards the end, but there's a good moment where she runs through a door and closes it and just clocks him straight in the head. Right, and at that moment,
who's she clocking?
One of the killers running around.
All right.
Whoever it was at that moment. But yeah, I get that she's not in the right frame of mind, but she clocks him in the door. He actually falls to the ground. At that moment, I'm just like, half of me thinks that if I was in any sort of relative easy state of mind at that point, I'd just balls to the wall it and just smash the head in with the door. If you're genuinely confronted with death and you've just seen what you think is your boyfriend get stabbed in the chest, right? I think you're risking it.
I think I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying, but I think that's part of Sydney's arc, though. Just to be pretentious and dickhead about this for a moment, because she is at that time in the movie, she is running, she is choosing to flight rather than fight. She is running out of the house and that sort of thing. Don't get her wrong, she'll definitely have a scrap if she gets up close to him, but she's choosing to run away rather than to stand her ground. And then obviously that builds up to the end where she's like, nah, fuck this, I'm gonna turn the tables, I'm gonna fuck you both up now. And she's
got time for jokes at the end.
She does.
She's on the phone to them like, how's it feel, bitch?
Yeah, she's got quips and everything, man. And just the moment where they're just looking down at Billy and like, careful, this is the moment when the killer comes back to life as a surprise jump scare ending. And then he does, and she just straight up fucking unloads one into his brain.
Yes.
It's so good.
Because a part of me thought back to that, and I was like, the only thing that basically what I thought was going to happen is when he said, oh, this is the moment the killer comes back for a last chance attempt to finish his kill or whatever.
Yes.
And then it actually happened. The only thing that I was like, I wish it didn't happen. Just for a little fun ending joke, and then when Sydney offloaded into him, I was like, "Nah, this is better. I like this version better."
Yeah, it's definitely a better choice. Yeah. I'm gonna quickly finish on 2 pieces of trivia I found on IMDb that I thought were very funny. So first of all, the use of caller ID increased more than 3-fold after the release of this film.
Jesus Christ!
I just think that's pretty funny, and again, a sign of the times. And this one is quite funny as well. The high school scenes were to be shot at Santa Rosa High School in California. However, very close to the shooting date, the school board read the script and denied the film to be shot there due to the violent nature, as they had been under the impression this film was a comedy. And production was moved to another school. As payback, director Wes Craven put in the end credits under the special thanks section, and no thanks whatsoever to the Santa Rosa City High School District Governing Board. That's just very funny.
No, that's great. That's the shit that you don't get today. You never would be allowed to do that because of just the chance of Twitter taking offended by it. That's good stuff. I like that.
Also, R.I.P. Wes Craven. Gone too soon, man. Because this was a fucking good movie.
It was. When did he die?
2015. R.I.P.
That sucks.
That does suck.
Did he direct the others? Did he go on to do the sequels?
I'm not sure, to be honest. We'll
find out next Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. Stay tuned. But yeah, overall, obviously, I mean, there's no shock. Clearly, we both enjoyed it. A great Halloween movie, probably one that I'm gonna, I might actually do this Halloween tradition. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm gonna watch them all now. I think I might watch them all in the next few days, and then get ready for Scream 5 in January.
I genuinely think I might. It's cool. Haha, we have fun, Nathan, don't we? I definitely didn't take a break before recording this. If you liked this episode and you thought it was a jolly good time, or maybe even a spooky time,
spooky
wooky time, my apologies. You can listen to us next week on Friday, where it won't be spooky, but it should still be fun. We have new episodes that go live on Fridays at 10 a.m. And you can get a little post reminder if you follow us on our social medias, which are Twitter and Instagram @AnotherHappyPod. So give us a follow there. Let us know what you think. Maybe even suggest a little episode that we could do. You can also give us a review if you'd like to give us a review. But if you're going to be nasty, please don't. It will crush mine and Nathan's self-esteem. And we will probably get upset. And we've got just enough listeners to do this. But then if we started losing any, it'd be like, what's the point? Because it takes takes some time out of our week, and we'd get upset. So don't do it. Oh yeah. Also, sorry about that. But we're next week we're going to be doing this. So join us for that. That'll be fun. We don't know what it is, but we're about to find out. But we want to end the recording. See you next week, I guess.
Goodbye. Farewell.
Farewell.
Have a spooky wooky time. Get some Halloween candy and say goodbye to your loved ones because I'm going to kill them. Goodbye, everyone.
Oh, damn.